Commander Rex Thorne stood silently at the helm of the ISS Revenant, his gaze locked on the black void displayed across the panoramic screen. His vessel drifted undetected at the frontier of human-controlled space, cloaked in next-gen spectral shielding, invisible to enemy radar. 3 lunar cycles had passed while they'd shadowed a vicious interstellar conflict decimating this entire quadrant. "Another burst coming through from the warfront, sir," reported Major Tessa Quinn, seated at weapons control, her tone cut like steel. "It's the Varnock again. They've just scorched the border moons near Ardent Reach." Thorne's jaw clenched. Those outer colonies were peaceful, agricultural settlements far from military affairs, caught in the firestorm between the Varnock Dominion and the Sovereign Axis. "Display it," he commanded. The projection bloomed to life, freezing the air on the command deck. Blazing towns, charred farmlands, and desperate evacuation ships lit the screen, only to be torn apart mid-flight by Varnock destroyers. Mercy was a ghost. Chief Systems Officer Marcus Zhao scowled. "They're not engaging soldiers. Those are unarmed families trying to flee." Signals Analyst Juno Vega wiped away a tear. "How many aboard that carrier?" "Scans estimate over 2,000, Tessa said, voice tight. "Civilians. Gone in seconds." Rex turned away, fists clenched. Power down. Darkness returned to the bridge, but the images seared their memory like brands. The war had raged 2 rotations now, growing uglier with each passing month. Varnock and Sovereign alike waged annihilation campaigns, obliterating planets just to spite each other. "Incoming channel from Central Earth Authority," Vega said suddenly. "High-level clearance. It's Admiral Sloan Mercer." "Patch her through," Thorne said. The screen blinked alive, revealing a hardened woman, silver-haired, eyes dulled by sleepless nights. "Commander Thorne, no time for pleasantries. The summit efforts have collapsed," she began, no sugarcoat. Envoy Malik exhausted every negotiation route. Neither side's budging. Rex had expected it. "Their responses?" Mercer's voice dropped. "The Varnock branded us parasites. The Sovereigns dismissed us as background noise. Both scoffed at our offers to evacuate survivors." "And our 8 proposals?" he asked, though he knew the answer. "Denied without review," she confirmed. "Worse, any Terran vessel crossing into contested space will be targeted as hostile." Mercer paused, then dropped the hammer. "That's not the end of it. They've begun striking our trade paths. 3 haulers down just yesterday. They accused them of supplying enemy strongholds. They weren't." Quinn asked, already knowing. "Standard shipments," Mercer growled. "Medical gear, grain, humanitarian supplies. Nothing military." Tessa's eyes lifted. "Casualties?" 847, Mercer said, "including the entire crew of the Seraphine Grace." That ship was sacred, a mobile hospital known throughout the colonies. It ferried hope to the unreachable. Marcus slammed his hand down. They bombed medics, pediatric surgeons, volunteers. Rex's fury simmered beneath a facade of calm. "Orders." Mercer leaned closer. "The Global Security Councils reached consensus. We tried everything: dialogue, neutrality, assistance. They spat in our face." She met Thorne's stare with fire. "It's time to remind them who we are." Rex straightened. "We're engaging? No more patience, Commander. They escalated by targeting innocents. Now we strike back." Her tone iced over. "We've worn velvet gloves for too long. These creatures see our restraint as weakness. They think we're soft because we value peace. Let's teach them how wrong they are." A wicked grin crept onto Rex's face, one that hadn't surfaced in years. "They're about to get educated." "Exactly," she said. "For decades, we've been underestimated, categorized as harmless. That changes today." Mercer turned her gaze across the bridge crew. "Commander Thorne, the Revenant now has full combat clearance. You are to launch aggressive strikes against both alien factions. Prioritize civilian protection, but use any and all force necessary. Let them witness the consequences of provoking humanity." Tessa looked up, pulse racing. "Are we talking surgical retaliation or full military engagement?" Total retaliation, Mercer snapped. They chose this path. They slaughtered innocents. Decline peace. Let them learn. Humans don't ignite wars. We finish them. Rex gave a sharp nod. Understood. When's the opening strike? Immediately. Recon confirms a Varnock fleet en route to Avalon Sector. 43 ships, including triple-class dreadnoughts. They'll reach Haven Colony in less than 19 hours. Thorne turned to Tessa. Estimated clash time? Lieutenant Naira Callan scanned her terminal. If we ignite thrusters now and run them hot, we'll breach Dusk Haven's orbit in just under 16 hours, Commander. Captain Leon Varick shifted to face Admiral Rowan Vale on the holo display. We're en route, Admiral. The Draxery won't even realize they were ever being watched. Admiral Vale gave a grim smile. Strike fast, Varick. And don't leave survivors. Let the wreckage speak for itself. The signal cut out, leaving the command center dim and silent. Varick studied the faces surrounding him, officers, engineers, specialists, all driven not by hatred, but by duty. None had asked for battle. Still, battle had come. He stepped to his captain's chair. Orla, he said to his comms lead, notify every deck. Combat readiness in 1 hour. Orla Drayton's fingers flew across the panel. Message out. Varick returned his eyes to the viewport. Galaxies burning bright across black voids. Somewhere out there, enemy squadrons advanced with malicious intent. They believed Earth's kind would crumble, that humans would fold when cornered. They had no idea what was coming. Naira, arm weapons. Silas, burn every drop of fuel into engine flow. Nav, chart direct path to Dusk Haven. Varick's tone was like ice cracking, controlled, but deadly. Let's show these monsters what extinction tastes like. The ISS Revenant curved across the stars, unseen by every known detection grid, carrying retribution toward an unsuspecting foe. Moments later, the Revenant dropped from warp at the edge of Dusk Haven's solar belt. Captain Varick stood tall as radar bloomed. 43 alien vessels crawling across the system, their formation rigid, their target obvious. Update, he commanded. Naira's hands moved in a blur. Varnock warships. 2 hours from planetary range. 3 lead destroyers in front. Heavy coverage behind. Typical spread formation. Signals team, he snapped. Orla lifted her headset. We've intercepted their chatter. They're mocking the colony. Laughing. Think it's undefended. Varick's jaw tightened. Dusk Haven was home to 50,000 settlers, gardeners, builders, dreamers. No armaments. No defense grid. Ryland cloak integrity? Varick called to engineering. Chief Silas Ryland grinned. We're ghosts, Commander. They'd need divine help to detect us. The Revenant was Earth's greatest Phantom-class vessel, built for sabotage and revenge. Even the Varnock's hyper-array sensors wouldn't see them coming. Varick's eyes narrowed. Jex, status on payload? Weapons Chief Jex Moreland replied, voice calm, deadly. Payloads locked. Singularity-class torpedoes calibrated. Plasma turrets primed. Quantum warheads on standby. Varick stepped onto the platform in the center of the bridge. He had watched the species butcher thousands. He had seen refugee craft incinerated, heard the screams of dying children. This was justice, wrapped in fury. Arden, he said to the science post, compare firepower. Dr. Arden Voss adjusted her display. Varnock Tech is brute tier, Captain. Massive ordnance, thick plating, and oversized shielding. They favor raw strength. She pointed to a holographic ship outline glowing red. Our munitions, however, use energy phase displacement. Our torpedoes will bypass their shield harmonics, as if they were never there. Commander Rex Halden stood firm on the bridge of the DSS Vindicator, eyes locked on the tactical display, while the void of deep space loomed ahead. Their vessel hovered in total silence, cloaked by cutting-edge distortion arrays, invisible to all hostile scans. For weeks, they'd watched a brutal conflict unravel, systems burning under the fury of alien aggression. Sir, incoming communique from the Aegis sector, said tactical lead Maya Voss, jaw clenched. The Tyranty have just assaulted another civilian habitat. Rex's eyes hardened. The Arcadia settlements weren't military outposts. They were homes. Peaceful. Isolated. Families living off the land, far from politics or bloodshed. Display it, Halden commanded. The screen flashed with raw horror. Obliterated villages, scorched landscapes. Starships fleeing only to be annihilated by Tyranny dreadnoughts. The aliens spared no one. Chief Systems Officer Leo Miles muttered, disgusted. They're not soldiers. Just colonists trying to survive. Signal analyst Kara Monroe wiped her face. A transport disintegrated before them. How many souls aboard? She asked. Estimates place it at 2,000. Maya replied, voice low. Children, entire families. Gone. Cut the visuals, Halden said sharply. Darkness returned to the bridge, but silence screamed louder than any footage. This galactic feud had raged for over 2 cycles. The Tyranny and Valkyrie despised each other so deeply, they'd rather scorch a planet than let the other win. Priority hail from Central Command, Kara announced. Admiral Sienna Lorick. It's marked red tier. Patch her through. The Admiral's weary face appeared, lines carved deep, her voice heavy. Commander Halden, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, she began. We tried diplomacy. Ambassador Ewan met both factions. Neither will talk. Rex exhaled through his nose. What did they say? The Tyranny called us vermin. The Valkyrie called us irrelevant. They laughed at our offers of humanitarian assistance. And our outreach regarding evac efforts? Rex pressed, though he already knew. Dismissed. They've stated that any Terran vessel entering their zones will be obliterated. Rex clenched his fists. Sienna's voice darkened. Worse. They've begun hitting our trade paths. 3 freighters lost yesterday. Unarmed. Carrying medical supplies. How many casualties? Maya asked. 847, Sienna replied. That includes the relief ship Solace. They were en route to deliver treatments to epidemic-struck children on Haven's Reach. Everyone fell silent. The Solace was legendary. Its crew were medics, healers. Leo slammed a console. They killed nurses, kids, doctors. Rex felt the inferno rising in his gut, but kept his voice calm. Admiral, your orders? Sienna leaned closer. The council convened. We're done playing diplomat. We tried neutrality. We tried compassion. All they saw was softness. Her stare pierced the bridge. It's time they learn how wrong they were. Are we officially? Halden began. We're already in it, Rex. They fired first when they slaughtered civilians. Now we end it. Her expression steeled. No more restraint. No more hiding. Engage with maximum force. Maya looked up. Strategic engagement or full commitment? Sienna didn't blink. Total confrontation. These alien factions have made their stance clear. Now it's our turn. Humanity doesn't start wars. We end them. Halden nodded. Confirmed. What's the immediate threat? A Tyranny assault armada heading toward Polaris Ridge. 43 hostiles. 3 heavy carriers. ETA 18 hours. Rex met his crew's gaze. Then we intercept. Vulnerable targets, Commander Riker scanned the helm. His squad had clinched Earth's first strike victory in the unfolding conflict. But deep down, he sensed this was just the ignition spark. Valdez, he barked, scatter the wreckage. Use gravitation disruptors. Make it appear like propulsion failures tore them apart. Valdez gave a short nod. Already underway, Commander. When rival scouts stumble upon this field, Riker continued, settling into his command pod, they'll assume internal malfunctions, not sabotage. Tension thickened as silence blanketed the deck. Fear of shadows, he said, can paralyze more than fear of blades. Lieutenant Miles turned toward him. Sir, destination? Riker's expression darkened. The Calyx and Draylak fired first, slaughtered civilians. It's time they discover the price of their decision. Plot a course to the Draylak stronghold, Nemoris Prime. Let's introduce ourselves properly. 14 days had passed since the annihilation of Marshal Yezrin's assault squadron at Avalon Cross. The ISS Vortex had slipped silently through sectors, a phantom avenger, erasing both Draylak and Calyx patrols whenever they menaced human domains. Riker stood near the ops bay, reviewing the Nemoris grid. This was the Draelac Military's Corps. Admiral Traxon's elite unit awaited here. But today, both factions would meet the entity, demolishing their fleets. "Commander," said Lieutenant Avery Quinn, "significant activity. More than 60 Draelac cruisers protecting their fortress. But there's something odd." Riker raised a brow. "Strange how?" Quinn rechecked the readings. "Zepyrian units, 37 vessels. Both alien powers are collaborating. First instance since hostilities began." Communications Officer Reyna Sky chimed in. "Intercepted chatter confirms. They're panicking over vanishing fleets. They suspect cloaked attackers or exotic tech." Riker's jaw tightened. For 2 weeks, Vortex had surgically erased all hostiles from the quadrant. No warnings. No clues. Just emptiness. "Dr. Yara, status on our latest modifications?" Riker asked his lead physicist. Dr. Lila Yara looked up, exhilaration in her eyes. "The quantum phase array works flawlessly. We now traverse space in ways their sensors can't comprehend. We appear in overlapping positions simultaneously." Chief Engineer Nolan Cruz smirked. "And the plasma vector weapons are fully calibrated. Ready for anything." Riker gave a slow nod. Their ship had evolved, enhanced with tech born from desperation and brilliance. "Navigator Trevin, position us dead center between both fleets," Riker commanded. Trevin's fingers danced over controls. "That'll place us between nearly 100 hostile warships." "You're sure?" Riker scanned his bridge crew, people who had watched innocents burned, watched cries ignored, watched humanity bleed. "Yes," he replied. "Take us in." ISS Vortex coasted through Nemoris space, unseen. Calyx on one end, Draelac on the other. Ancient hatred paused, fear uniting them. "Sky," Riker ordered, "open a broadcast to both fleets." "Channel wide open, sir," she replied. Riker's voice boomed across deep space. "This is Commander Riker of the ISS Vortex. I address the leaders of both Calyx and Draelac battle groups." Static held the line, until Admiral Traxon's voice thundered through. "Show yourself, Terran Worm. One ship dares defy us." General Mordak of Zepyria snarled. "You stand alone against us? We'll turn you into dust in seconds." Riker turned to Tactical Officer Kalebrin. "Disable stealth. Bring weapons online." The vortex shimmered into view, yet its location flickered wildly across scanners. It was everywhere and nowhere. Admiral Traxon's voice trembled. "What trickery is this? Our systems cannot acquire your exact position." Riker's tone was ice. "For months, your kind incinerated peaceful settlements. You dismissed our pleas. You torpedoed transports and butchered innocents." He paused, letting truth settle like iron weights. "You assumed our patience meant weakness." General Mordak roared, "Preposterous. Humans are frail. You exist by mercy." Riker smirked. "Trevin, execute Formation Echo 13. ISS Vortex began folding reality, moving like a ghost in a shattered mirror. Flashes of light, multiple echoes, every direction a threat. To the enemy, it was as if a dozen Terran ships appeared, encircling them. "Bryn, engage all weapon systems," Riker commanded. Unchained fury, the skies above Nemoris ignited with annihilation. Phase lances pierced exotic barriers, detonating vessels from within. Gravity disruptors birthed false singularities, shredding enemy fleets into collapsing metal tombs. Pulse cannons sliced through reinforced plating like cloth. But the real horror? The attackers couldn't be struck back. Every lock attempt failed. Each time alien gunners tried to fix their sights, the Terran vessel slipped through dimensions, appearing in multiple spots at once, untouchable by conventional sensors. Fleet Marshal Dravin watched helplessly as his command vessel's twin exploded under unknown firepower. "This can't be real. One warship can't possess such capability," he roared. "How many destroyers are you truly fielding?" Commander Riven's voice replied, cold and collected. "Just one, Marshal. This is the result of underestimating human invention. In under 10 minutes, Half of the combined armada lay in ruin, remaining frigates scattered like insects. But the ISS Vortex was faster than anything they'd faced. It hunted down retreating cruisers like a predator stalking prey. Over open comms, Supreme Warlord Trevik broke through, voice cracking with fear. "We yield. We yield. End this madness." Riven's response was ice. "Did you offer mercy to evacuees you hunted? Did you spare the unarmed? Why should we?" More hulls disintegrated. Desperate, Marshal Draven tried another tactic. "Commander Riven, surely you don't intend genocide. We can talk, find a peaceful resolution." Riven gave the order to halt fire. "You wish to bargain? Very well. I offer you the same deal you gave our colonies. Total submission or total obliteration. Decide now." A long, silent pause. Then, at last, Marshal Draven's voice cracked back. "What are your conditions for surrender?" Riven turned to face his crew, veterans who had watched their kin slaughtered, who had shielded helpless stations. Now, vengeance was in reach, and peace within grasp. "All offensives against human domains will stop immediately. Both your governments will withdraw every unit from Terran sectors. You will compensate every civilian loss, every destroyed habitat. And your militaries will operate under Terran surveillance until we believe you can be trusted again." Warlord Trevik hissed through comms, livid. "Unacceptable. We cannot allow outsiders to control our fleets." Riven's tone shifted to lethal. "Then you choose extinction." The vortex resumed fire. Screams filled the ether as alien flagships combusted like dry leaves. The survivors scattered, terrified. Riven turned to comms officer Lyra Voss. "Begin recording. I want this message delivered to both homeworlds." She nodded. "Recording active." Riven faced the lens, voice deadly calm. "To the leaders of the Zepyrian Dominion and the Caloran Syndicate, this is Commander Riven of the Terran warship ISS Vortex. Your fleets lie in ruin. Your champions are gone or captured. This war ends now." He let the image of blazing wrecks behind him burn across the feed. "For cycles, you've oppressed peaceful worlds and butchered innocents. You mistook our diplomacy for frailty." His eyes hardened. "Humanity never seeks war, but we finish them. You've now seen what a single Terran ship can accomplish. We possess many more." He leaned in, voice sharp as razors. "Continue to strike our people, and we'll erase your empires, utterly." The footage ended. Lyra began transmitting across every communication node of both enemy civilizations. Riven sank into his command seat, watching the sea of floating metal around Nemoris. Nearly 100 elite war cruisers, decimated in less than half an hour. The greatest combined military force in known history erased. Lieutenant Vera glanced up from tactical. "Commander, distress calls are coming in from their core planets. Emergency councils are being formed." Riven nodded once. "Excellent. Let them debate survival." He turned to Navigation Officer Kieran Voss. "Set trajectory for Sol. We're heading back to debrief Admiral Heron." The vortex adjusted course toward Earth, leaving smoldering wreckage in its wake. Exactly 3 weeks after Nemoris' fall, red sirens blared across the ISS Vortex's bridge. Commander Riven rushed from his quarters to find the crew scrambling into action. Status report. Red line protocol as Commander Rex Valor sank into the captain's chair. First Officer Kyla Wren glanced up from her interface. Color drained from her cheeks. "Sir, incoming threat signatures. Massive armament wave en route to Terra Prime. Joint strike formation. Total count exceeds 10,000. Valor's chest tightened. 10,000. The most enormous strike coalition in recorded interstellar archives. How long until they breach orbit? At current propulsion, 96 hours, Wren confirmed grimly. It's their full force. No reserves. Every carrier, destroyer, interceptor, they're all in." Valor's jaw clenched. The Alliance had chosen annihilation over defeat. A final offensive to purge humankind from existence. At comms, Lieutenant Nadia Sharp looked back. Intercepted chatter labels this Operation Final Silence. They mean to erase us from the stars. Valor rose, fists balled. The enemy empires had declared extermination over compromise. They'd gamble all remaining strength to crush Earth in one fatal sweep. Sharp, open a channel to Command Admiral Riker. The main display activated, revealing Admiral Riker's weary expression. Behind her, Command Nexus buzzed with chaos. Valor, tell me you're bringing hope. I wish I could. They'll reach Earth in 4 days. All factions combined. They're not holding back. Riker exhaled sharply. Home Guard can rally only 300 units. Even with top-tier tech, those odds, Rex scanned his team. These were veterans, fighters who'd followed him through devastation and miracle alike. Ma'am, the Oblivion Edge was never designed to win this alone. Riker's brow lifted. What are you saying? A faint smirk crossed Rex's face. We weren't the only project. This ship was a prototype. The split screen widened. Another bridge came into view. Captain Alina cross-grinned. Admiral ISS Thunderclap standing by. More feeds lit up. Commander Elias North aboard Nova Ghost. Captain Rhea Kim on Solar Vortex. Commander Omar Blake on Hellstrike. One after another, more bridges joined. Riker's eyes widened. How many? Valor's grin grew. 57. Covert production lines hidden across colonies. Every ship fully loaded, phase shift capable, dimensionally armed. Chief Systems Engineer Juno, Kay chimed in. All squadrons confirmed combat ready. Cannons primed. Stealth active. Jump drives locked. Valor faced Riker again. We'll intercept the assault fleet before Earth. Engagement zone, Helios reach. Riker hesitated. You're certain 57 can challenge 10,000? Rex looked over his station. Tactical Officer Bram Doyle reviewed jump coordinates. Tech Specialist Zia tuned defensive arrays. Strategic AI Opus compiled fleet trajectories. They think mass wins battles. They've forgotten precision breaks empires. Riker nodded slowly. Make them remember. The feed cut. Rex turned. Doyle, plot vector to Helios reach. Max drive. As Oblivion Edge blurred into hyperspace, Rex opened an intercom to the entire secret fleet. Fleet command to all units. We engage in 4 days. The largest war front in galactic memory closes in on our cradle. He looked at hundreds of commanders, officers, and pilots projected before him. They assumed their size means strength. That overwhelming firepower means certain victory. But they're wrong. Rex's voice grew intense. Our fleet embodies brilliance, tenacity, and legacy. Our systems outpace theirs. Our strategy is sharper. But it's not just tech. He paused, emotion heavy in the air. We stand for home, for sons and daughters, for generations unborn. We fight not out of hate, but out of hope. Cross's voice broke through the channel. Sir, formation reports optimal readiness. Valor nodded. Then let's educate them. Let's remind them what happens when you corner the human spirit. 72 hours later, the black of Helios reach brimmed with silent firepower. 57 silent dreadnoughts drifted, cloaked, concealed, waiting, watching the enemy wall of steel and fury swell into view. Commander Valor stood still, eyes locked on the shifting battlefield. Tactical, status report, he ordered, voice steady. Ren leaned in. Tracking confirms 10,000 and rising. The reckoning of Ashfall Prime Valen, Pierce, surveyed the tactical grid. Commander, sensor array confirms 4,000 Zarnathian warships and 6,000 Belkaran vessels. Configuration includes 200 command juggernauts, 800 siege frigates, 3,000 heavy cutters, with remaining forces consisting of supply rigs and troop carriers. Dr. Kayla Noor lifted her gaze. Captain, the energy spikes from their frontline hulls indicate new siege-grade weapons, planetary extinction class. Valen's fists curled. They weren't coming to win. They were coming to annihilate Earth, and everything born of it. Dasha, he said, turning toward his comms officer. Lieutenant Dasha Vane nodded, tone heavy. Confirmed, Captain. They're transmitting battle chatter, prioritizing colony systems for first strike elimination. to set examples before burning Terra. That was enough. Patch me into their entire battle net, Valen ordered. The bridge quieted as the comm line opened. Then Valen's voice echoed across the void, resonating through enemy fleet comms. This is Captain Valen Pierce of the Terran Vanguard. Withdraw immediately from Terran starspace. Laughter erupted from the other side, deep, mocking. A guttural voice followed. I am Grand Admiral Zervek, High Seat of the Velcaran Unity, and one Terran dares speak to us in commands. Reveal yourself, the voice growled. Let us witness this mythical phantom ship that's haunted our warpath. Valen's jaw set. He faced his crew. Drop cloaks. Arm all systems. Suddenly, 57 dreadnoughts materialized like ghosts ripped into reality, visible on every scanner across the enemy fleet. The laughter died. Admiral Zervek's voice returned, now uncertain. No, this cannot be. You had one ship, one. You were wrong, Valen replied, his voice like frost. Wrong about us. You saw our peace and mistook it for fear. You saw our patience and thought us powerless. You saw our restraint and assumed surrender. He stared at the tactical board as the enemy fleet scrambled to regroup against threats now encircling them. You misunderstood everything. Supreme Strategist Nzor of the Zarnathian host barked in response. 57 vessels cannot overcome 10,000. Your numbers betray you. Valen's lips curled into a grim smile. Thorn, show them. At his command, Captain Ilya Thorn initiated the strike. The Centauri void erupted. The Terran fleet unleashed devastation on a scale unseen in galactic chronicles. Pulse torpedoes bypassed defenses, detonating ships from within. Gravity warheads collapsed enemy squadrons into singularities. Plasma beams carved juggernauts like soft clay. But this was different. The sheer scale allowed continuous barrage. Targeting queues overflowed. Explosions scattered wreckage like stardust. Enemy counterfire failed miserably. Targeting systems couldn't isolate Terran dreadnoughts as they danced across dimensions. They struck from nowhere. They vanished like myths. 10 minutes in, 3,000 enemy ships lay in ruin. The rest broke formation, fleeing. But nothing outran the Terran phantoms. Then the radio lit up again. Admiral Zervek's voice trembled. We surrender. For the love of the stars, we surrender. End this now. Valen's eyes darkened. You didn't offer surrender to the settlements you raised. You came to erase us. The slaughter continued. For 1 hour, the Terran fleet reduced the grandest armada ever assembled to cinders. 6 months later, the flagship Ashfall approached Zarnath Prime. Where once fleets launched domination campaigns, now hung silence. Broken satellites. Flickering defense grids. The last stronghold of a fallen empire. Receiving peace transmissions, reported Vane. From the surface government. On screen, Valen replied. The display shifted to a worn, humbled face. Former Overlord Kortau, once master of galactic conquest. His ornate uniform gone. Only plain robes remained. Captain Pierce, he said slowly, voice stripped of arrogance. Ashes of war, seeds of unity, with full sincerity, I surrender our planet to Terran command, the alien envoy declared. On behalf of the Veltian race, we accept accountability for the atrocities our dominion inflicted on defenseless lives. Captain Rylan Creed studied the creature's worn expression. Half a year ago, this same figure had plotted humanity's extinction. Now he begged for peace. The annihilation of their armadas had rewritten history. Ex-commander, Creed said coldly, understand this. Our mission was never conquest. We didn't come to erase your culture or claim your soil. We came to ensure your kind never again harms innocence. Lieutenant Maya Thorne glanced up from her console. Planetary diagnostics confirmed compliance. All foundries dismantled, shipyards abandoned, as instructed. Creed nodded. Over the past 180 days, both fallen empires had followed every Terran mandate to the letter. Armed divisions had been dissolved. Munitions halted. War doctrine scrapped. Dr. Lennox, Creed asked, status of our recovery initiative? Dr. Elise Lennox smiled faintly. Supply chains are operational. Medicine and rations are reaching remote settlements on Velshin and Growlneth. Their economies are stabilizing. Creed allowed himself a brief moment of relief. Entire industrial zones had crumbled overnight when weapon manufacturing ceased. Worlds that once thrived on destruction now drifted aimless until humanity intervened. They stepped in not as conquerors, but as rebuilders. Open transmission to the Growlneth capital, Creed ordered. The monitor divided into 2 live feeds. One revealed ex-Commander Verex of the Velshin. The other, former Fleetmaster Dren Talos of the Growlneth, a being once feared throughout the quadrant. Gentlemen, Creed began, today we discuss what comes next. For 6 months, your species have proven something rare. You've chosen peace. Reconstruction efforts have united former rivals. Scientists from both factions are solving real problems together. Talos gave a slow nod. Captain Creed, humanity has taught us a powerful truth. We waged endless war, never realizing dialogue could be stronger than dreadnoughts. Creed met both stares. That's why I've come bearing an offer. We are founding a new alliance, the Stellar Accord. It exists to protect, connect, and elevate civilizations through unity. Both leaders blinked. You would let us join? Verex asked. After all we've done to your kind? Creed's tone grew solemn. Forgiveness isn't given. It's earned. But redemption must be possible, or this galaxy has no future. Your worlds have chosen healing over hate. Now you're invited to help forge something better. Chief Engineer Rico Vega turned toward him. Captain, urgent signal incoming from Earth. Patch it through. Admiral Celeste Arden appeared on screen, her demeanor more relaxed than during wartime. Ryland, great news. The Interstellar Council has ratified the Stellar Accord. 12 founding species, including some previously unaffiliated. Creed smiled faintly. The Stellar Accord had grown faster than anyone dreamed. Oppressed civilizations, once pawns of galactic superpowers, saw a beacon of change in humanity's stand. Admiral, Creed reported, both Velshin and Growlneth leaders have submitted applications to join the Accord. She nodded. The Council has reviewed their petitions. They're conditionally accepted under a 5-cycle observation phase. If peaceful conduct continues, full membership will be granted. Dren Talos leaned forward. And what does that membership offer? Creed faced them both. It offers defense against tyrannical regimes, access to our tech and medicine, trade relations that will revitalize your planets. But most of all, it offers your descendants the chance to grow in a galaxy where war isn't the default answer. Navigation Officer Jude Mercer spoke up. Sir, message from the Outland Patrol. The Draxian Dominion is mobilizing forces near the Rimward sectors. Creed's face hardened. The Draxians, another empire hungry for expansion, had watched the last war from the shadows. Now, seeing Velshin and Growlneth in ruins, they prepared to pounce. Have they made any direct threats toward Accord systems? Creed asked, voice like steel. Dawn of the Accord, any hostilities yet? Asked Commander Cale Draven. Lieutenant Royce scanned the latest intel. Negative, sir. But the Dominions amassed armadas near our frontier and demanded tribute from autonomous planets. Draven's eyes narrowed. He turned toward the dual feeds, showing former adversaries now on the side of justice. Commanders, he addressed, this is your initiation into the Accord. The Virex Dominion threatens free civilizations, just as your empires once did. Will you now stand to defend the defenseless? Former Warlord Theric Soul straightened. Commander Draven, the Valari people pledge full cooperation. Though we lack warships, our intelligence core and supply chains are yours. Ex-Admiral Grev Maurix offered a solemn nod. The Korthan Coalition concurs. We now understand true power lies in defending peace, not claiming dominance. Draven felt a surge of respect. Half a solar cycle ago, they plotted extinction. Today, they pledged aid to the vulnerable. Gratitude to both of you, Draven said. Ari, alert Admiral Run on Earth Prime. Tell her we're prepared to confront the Dominion threat. Lieutenant Arya Quinn's fingers flew across her interface. Message delivered, Commander. Draven stepped forward, eyes locked on the panoramic display. Below, Twin World spun quietly. Cities reconstructed, farmlands fertile, children enrolled in schools instead of boot camps. Dr. Nyla, status on diplomatic accords, he requested. Dr. Nyla Varen scanned her interface. Every participating planet has endorsed the Interstellar Cooperation Charter. It guarantees collective defense and peaceful conflict resolution between Accord members. Draven nodded, pride flickering in his eyes. These terms weren't just protocol, they echoed humanity's core tenets. Unity above supremacy, dialogue over domination, dignity for every conscious race. 5 revolutions later, Admiral Kale Draven stood aboard the flagship Vanguard's light, charting Accord space. No longer stalkers of enemy fleets, their mission had evolved, escorting researchers, aiding colonies, and answering cries for help. Admiral, Captain Arya Quinn called from her console, incoming from Unity Spire Station. Draven smiled. Unity Spire, built by Valari and Korthan scientists, stood as a monument to peace forged from fire. On screen, he ordered. The display shifted to 2 young researchers. One, a wide-eyed Valari named Dr. Trenval. The other, a bright Korthan named Dr. Lyridax. Admiral Draven, we wanted to express our deepest thanks, said Tren. Our success with submolecular regeneration tech is due to the Accord's shared collaboration model. Lyra added with emotion, our elders spent decades in bloodshed. But together, we've unlocked treatments to cure illnesses across half the Accord. Draven felt something deeper than pride. Hope. This, he realized, was victory. Not fleets in ruins, not banners raised over rubble, but former foes uniting to cure, build, and heal. Carry on your exceptional work, doctors, Draven said. You're living proof that peace, once earned, creates miracles. As the stars shimmered beyond the hull, Vanguard's light drifted into the unknown, not to conquer, but to protect the legacy of those who chose a better path.